The songs themselves are quite, it's, I don't know what the word is, it's challenging, evasive, challenging, it's quite, it's something like really in your face and kind of,
confrontational.
It's kind of confrontational, yeah. And it kind of retains that whole mood throughout the entire album, which is quite impressive.
Well, especially, how long did you say it was?
It's like 90 minutes.
See, that's a hard thing to get it over all that time.
2 discs.
2 discs, 90 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. And it constantly maintains a mood, which is better than any Metallica album from the last 15 years.
Yeah.
It definitely is the best album Metallica have made since the Black Album.
Yeah.
It's definitely, and like in true Lou Reed spirit,
yeah.
He was never a man who wanted to like almost appease his fans. He always wanted them to be challenged and do something unexpected.
Yeah.
And what a way to go out. I remember I reading in this, which is pretty good. This bad way it was Uncut Music Guide to Lou Reed.
Yeah.
They said, when they were writing the obituaries about Lou Reed, they said I'm sure writers would have wanted to say, in Lou Reed's twilight years, he spent his time writing slow acoustic ballads, covers of his older songs.
Yeah.
The videos have been shot black and white. Maybe he hooked up with Rick Rubin to do some somber retellings of Perfect Day, and but instead they had to face the fact that the last album Lou Reed released was Lulu.
Yeah.
Well,
it speaks to who he was that was the end. Imagine if it was, what was the one before this? The Raven.
I think that was the last proper album. Yeah. Yeah, because the one he did before this was like I said, the meditation album, which
Yeah, but people would have ignored that and said,
ignored
"Who's the Raven? A contemporary update of a book, very tasteful."
Yeah. But even like in Lou Reed's obituaries, we kind of played down Lulu. Even though we said, essentially they were saying that like he ended his career, as confrontational as kind of when he started, with something like Lulu. But now, like as an album, I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
It's got some amazing moments on it. Like the song Junior Dad, the
last
song.
one.
Yeah. It's just like a 20-minute song.
Yeah.
And kind of Louis just kind of gets stuck in doing all these weird things on the keyboard, and you're just kind of like I mean, there are times when having Metallica as a backing band really works.
Yeah.
Like, they're a really guttural driving force, and I think it suits Lou Reed lyrics quite well.
Yeah.
The fact that this character is kind of spiraling into, madness, dissent, poverty, and depravity, it makes sense having like a kind of guttural kind of like, like backing music. I mean, the other things that don't work from Metallica elements are when like James Hetfield does some of the backing vocals.
Yeah.
He was like, "I am the table," and then it sounds like just like an average Metallica song.
Yeah.
But when Lou Reed is spouting his kind of crazy poetry and stuff, it's really fun.
Doesn't he just like sing like?
I am the war, stick down there. I would cut my legs and tits off when I think of Boris Karloff and Kinski.
Yeah, he does that sort of singing.
And it's such an odd contrast between like Lou Reed's almost speaking, singing with like Metallica doing all these like But the instrumentation, I thought the instrumentation was pretty fun. Like Metallica are known for being like, which I kind of don't really like this kind of thing where they're like studio perfectionists.
Yeah.
They'll spend days and days and days and days and weeks and weeks and weeks on like one song and just overdo it. While Lou Reed apparently encouraged them to just play around what I'm going to sing, and they were like, huh?
Yeah.
But like it worked for me.
Yeah.
Like, but there are times when it just kind of slows down and, there's a lot of space, there's a lot of room in the production. It's nice hearing Metallica being produced well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of space, there's slow bits where it's just Lars Ulrich just kind of plays really slowly, little cymbals and little drums. And, there's a lot of atmosphere.
Yeah.
So something like Iced Honey is a really good song. That like recalls, almost like something like from Transformer, just with a metal band backing him.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit silly. Brandenburg Gate, I think is a really great song.
Yeah.
Even when Lulu was getting like critical, like when it was the shitstorm, I really love the opening lyrics. I would cut my legs and tits off when I think of Boris Karloff and Kinski on the hours Dr. Moreau. I would dream of Nosferatu. Something like that. It's always stuck with me.
Yeah.
Like it really sticks with me, those lyrics. The View is a little bit ridiculous. It's got too much of a Metallica vocals, like I am the table. But even then, like even towards the song when James Hetfield stops talking, it's just Metallica just playing. It almost sounds like a punk song.
Yeah.
You know, it did fine for me. Pumping Blood was really good. That was like a slow burner.
Yeah.
Mistress Dread, Nice Tony. Cheat on Me was a really great song. So presumably the lyrics are all about like, you know, where Lulu's kind of, you know, she's sleeping with his men, but she's betraying who she really is, and it's and Louis is like, cheat on me, you cheated on me. I'm making it sound dreadful. But Little Dog was really good. That's like a really slow burner acoustic song where Metallica are just playing like feedback and not much else. And Dragon was really kind of visceral, and there's some pretty cool solos on there.
Yeah.
And then the last song, Junior Dad, which actually goes on for 20 minutes, is just an atmospheric collage of music, and Lou Reed just kind of playing this kind of contemplative.
Is it as good as Sister Ray?
Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing, like, you know, people love Sister Ray.
Yeah.
And Lulu is essentially, well, except for Junior Dad, which is quite slow and contemplative, essentially it's
just Sister Ray.
It's Sister Ray for like an hour.
Yeah.
Which depends on you know, if you're up for it.
Well, some people still hate that album.
Why? Yeah, I love that album.
Some people think it's their worst album. And like still think it's rubbish.
It's got that song, The Gift, hasn't it?
That Gift is rubbish though.
No, I like that song.
It's one of them songs you only listen to once.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
odd. I prefer the last two albums.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I think every album gets better. And Load is a great album.
I love Load. Yeah, yes. Load's great.
So would you recommend that Lulu gets a reappraisal?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think people dismissed it way too quickly.
Yes.
They didn't give it much of a chance. They didn't give it much of a shot. I mean, don't get me wrong. It is a borderline failed experiment.
Yeah.
There are times when it doesn't quite work. It doesn't quite gel together. But just for like the ambition of it.
Yeah.
And the fact that Lou Reed was like willing to be like, fuck it. I want to make an album about some obscure plays and have Metallica do the backing, and like he just did whatever he wanted. Like, and just for that alone, I think it should get at least some plaudits. And the music itself it's great. It's really good. I thought, you know, so there are times when the marriage of Lou Reed and Metallica doesn't really work, but then at the same time there are some amazing moments on it.
Yeah.
And you kind of, I just really got into it.
Yeah.
I would definitely re-listen to it as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's not one I kind of just listen to once. I would definitely give it another whirl, because there's kind of so much music to take in. But so in terms of, I mean, have we ever had a shit's peak where we've actually ended up giving it a positive review?
Well, that Family Guy was pretty. No, I don't think so yet. No.
No, so it's the first one.
Yes. Go listen to Lulu.
Lulu. Yeah, but also like listen to the rest of like Lou Reed's solo album, his like solo career.
What do you think his actual worst one is then?
Let me have a quick scan through.
You've got. Have you heard Metal Machine Music?
Not all the way through. No. Street Hustle's a really great album.
Yes.
That's a lot of fun.
But what do you think his actual worst one is?
Dunno. Probably something like Sally Can't Dance.
Well, like an average one. It's
just average, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like Metal Machine Music is probably outrightly terrible, but at least it's interesting. So Sally Can't Dance is just a little bit bland. Yeah. But at the same time, Sally Can't Dance is like that one great song on it, Kill Your Sons, which is all about when Lou Reed's parents tried to give him a lobotomy because they thought he was gay.
Yeah.
When he was a kid, and the song's all about that. It's a really great song. Do you remember the rest of the album wasn't like that, but it's just a bit bland.
Yes.
But no, yeah, go listen to Lulu, give it another go. I'm sure you can find it in the bargain bins.
Yes.
But I thought it was 90 minutes well spent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, I think a lot of reaction at the time was, I think a lot of it was kind of metal fans just wanting Metallica just to, you know, do their thing.
Plus, it sounds like the kind of thing where it grows on you the more like you think about it.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So obviously, in the instant reaction culture, people just going like trying to get clicks. So like, oh, I don't like it.
Yeah. It's a victim of its time, really.
Yes.
I think if it was an album released, maybe like, well, Berlin.
Yes.
Berlin at the time when it first came out was described as just absolute drivel. It was trash. It was dreadful. Now it's regarded as being, like I say, one of the best albums of the 70s.
Yes. So you think this will have a similar effect?
Maybe.
Not that high. It won't be like one of the best albums of the decade.
No, but I think people will maybe give it a bit of a reappraisal. I'm obviously like I'm not just saying this because, you know, like when a famous artist dies, people want to go back and defend his worst.
But I think there's been enough time now. It's been like, was it a year or two ago?
It's about 4 years.
Since Lou Reed died.
Oh, since Lou Reed died.
I think there's been enough time for
about
that
2 years,
criticise his work, you know.
Yeah, people
in a
can
good
look
way.
back now.
We're not defending toys like some people did when Robin Williams died.
Oh, yeah.
We're not going that far.
We're not going that far.
Yes.
But yeah, you know what I mean, though.
Yes.
I don't want to come across like that, because I genuinely did get into the album.
Yes.
And I really did enjoy Metallica thrashing into my headset while Lou Reed was kind of just shouting these poetry lines. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good album.
Yeah.
I'd give it like an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
I thought it was a really good album.
Yes.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it if you're up for it.
Yeah.
If you've got 90 minutes to spare.
Yeah.
And I know you're on a train somewhere. I don't know. You've got 2 hours to kill.
Yeah.
Or you're on a plane. Or you don't need to be somewhere for a while, and you can kind of just sit there. Or when you're at home, and you can just sit there and just listen for the 90 minutes stretch. It's great, and it flew by as well.
Yes.
It didn't feel like 90 minutes.
Cool. That's the best thing it can do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So honestly, check it out, because I really enjoyed it.
Yes.
Come on, haters!
Yeah.
Bring it on!
Get your downvotes in now.
Get your downvotes in, all you metal fans.
Yes.